All right, Logan, dude, Mega Gengar SAR has just been revealed.
Yep.
What are your thoughts, man? Because I at first was kind of worried about the set with how the Mega Dragonite was done, and we got a couple previews of that, by the way. I don't know if
There's some
they're
leaks,
there's
not
been some
nothing
leaks,
confirmed, but yeah.
nothing nothing confirmed, right? But you know, we got leaks of the Mega Charizard, and those ended up being true.
Right, yeah.
So it does kind of make you wonder if those are going to be true as well. But I think the reveal of the Mega Gengar kind of just changes everything. What are your
I
thoughts?
mean, yeah, when I saw that, like I was through the roof because it's the same artist that did the Mega Charizard X SAR from
It
Inferno X.
is.
So same similar style. It's badass in my opinion. I think the colors are sick.
Yeah.
I think when you pull that card and I'm seeing all the colors and lines of that artwork, when you just shine the light on it, I think it's gonna be insane. I think in
Yeah.
person it's gonna look insane. Um, I'm really glad that this card came in the set because I feel very similar to to what you just said about
Yeah.
a little worried about what this set could do because this
Yeah.
is the high class set of the year,
High
which
class.
is traditionally a really interesting, cool set that usually has some bangers. Last year's was Terrestrial Festival with all of the EVs. The one before that was Shiny Treasure, which had the Bubble Mew, the Shiny Charizard SARs. So I was a little worried. However, with this one, with Gengar being such an iconic Pokemon, with people having wanted it in Inferno X or slash Phantasmal Flames and we didn't get it, I think this makes up for it. And I think based off of my speculation of some of the other Pokemon that we could see, I think we're in for a treat with this set. I'm excited.
Yeah, for sure. Now, do you think that Gengar could be, the top pull over the Mega Dragonite? Because it it's pretty much implied that Mega Dragonite will be like the
Hmm.
main headliner.
Yeah.
Uh, there'll be a gold card. There's also going to be an SAR most likely. But do you think the Gengar could be the most valuable out of everything?
Yeah, I easily, I think so.
I think so
I
too. Yeah, yeah,
like I think that I saw some conversation about, how does this Gengar compare to the Fusion Strike VMAX
yeah. Oh,
Gengar
yeah,
alt
yeah,
art?
yeah, yeah.
Um, they're different, that
Sure.
one has its own art style that's really cool with So, the illustrator. This one feels entirely different. It's like comparing apples to oranges. It's just the same Pokemon. Um, I think it's insane. I think it's a sick card. It as of right now, it's my chase over the Dragonite leak that we saw. Um, so I think and yes, to answer your question, yes, I think that will be the chase for most, unless something else comes out that completely shocks people.
I definitely agree. I think Gengar will definitely reign supreme. But guys, with that, welcome to episode 15 of the Table Podcast.
Welcome.
I'm Alex with PokeLegends TCG, and I am joined with Logan from Zippy's Card Corner. Guys, please make sure you like and subscribe. We would be eternally grateful. Please share this with your friends. Um,
And leave a
and
question, leave a comment.
please, yes.
We've been dying to have people ask some questions so that we can answer on the podcast, and so getting to do that, because we try as best as we can to be transparent about our businesses, what we're seeing in the market, and sort of how the Pokemon environment is right now. So I get DMs all the time, but it'd be cool to be able to have a conversation with Alex and both have our opinions and thoughts shared. So please do that as well. That'd be awesome.
And I can't believe we're on episode 15. This is crazy. So we've done an episode every week for 15 weeks now.
Almost, almost,
So
almost 4 months.
almost
Yeah.
4 months. Yeah, pretty sick.
And I'm
Um,
having a good time. Every
yeah,
every episode's
same.
fun.
So another piece of news, Logan,
Yep.
is an English special set was announced for January 30th, and this one
Yeah.
we believe is going to be headlined by Zygarde. Is that
Well,
correct?
no, I think this one will be the this
Or
one will
this one will
be
also be
this one will be the Mega Dream. So this will be the
okay.
special
This will
set of
also
the
be
year.
Dream. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so it ties into kind of what we just talked about. This
Yeah,
set,
yeah,
so I had someone in my comments earlier saying, because I had a video announcing the Mega Gengar as well, and they were like, okay, well, when does it come to English? And
right.
that's what this set is going to be. So January 30th is the date that we now know the special English set of the beginning of the year will be this. We don't know the name, but we do know that it will be a combination of the Mega Dream EX set, as well as the recently announced Japan's Start Deck 100 Battle Collection. It's basically a ton of you know uh, cards that are going to kind of create it into a deck. But like Mega Charizard Y is actually available
All that.
in those decks, so we
Yeah.
might see that card in the English set as well. But just things like that. So not too much of a difference, at least of what we know so far. But for those English fans out there, keep an eye on that date.
That's gonna be so nuts, dude. And Phantasmal
Hmm.
Flames, by the way, is releasing in about a week.
Yeah,
So it's gonna be interesting to see how that compares to the Dream set. We got the Charizard versus Gengar kind of a deal.
I
Now
know.
with the Dream set at least though, I do think the Dragonite is at least going to be a top pull.
Yeah,
If it's not going to be the top pull, it is still going to be a top pull. But that's unlike Phantasmal Flames though.
yeah,
Phantasmal Flames for the most part is just the two Charizards, and
man,
because I think the Oricorio would be, but
yeah.
it's
It's
a
not in the
promo
set.
card. It's not in the
It's a
set.
promo
Yeah,
card.
the
People,
promo and the UPC. Yeah.
people in my DM. I made a video about this, and people were in my DM saying, Oricorio's in the set. What are you talking about? And I'm having to go to war with these people, saying, no, it is not. You cannot have a pack of Phantasmal Flames and pull the Oricorio.
Yeah.
Um, it's in a parallel box, the UPC, but it's not in the set. Um, I think uh, I think the set will do very well on release. It'll be interesting on how it performs in the long run.
Yeah.
But no doubt about it, it will be a crazy week. This next on the 14th of when it releases.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, um, especially with the gold Charizard being so freaking hard to pull. I mean, it's gonna be insane
Yeah,
what the
I'm
value of
really
that's gonna
interested to
be.
see sort of where the market price for both of the
Yeah,
Charizards settle.
yeah, the SAR versus the gold. I think it's gonna be interesting to see which one comes out on top. I think for Japanese, I think it's slightly the gold Charizard. Last time I checked, but just barely, right?
Yeah, it's definitely the Gold Charizard, and it's a shame because I think the SIRs are so much better looking. It's just that the golds are so hard to pull.
Yeah,
So it like that's like a perfect example of like supply and demand. Like the
yeah,
supply is just so low, the scarcity is so low.
yeah.
But it's the top rarity of the set, so people really want it, which drives price up.
Now here's
Um,
an interesting thought, Logan.
sure.
What do you think the price would look like if the SAR Charizard and the Gold Charizard were switched as far as rarity goes? Like, what do you think the SAR Charizard if
Uh,
if if, if you had to if you had to open like what is it? It's a crazy amount of booster boxes before you can pull it. Like I want to say it was like 30 or something.
Yeah, I think it was like
Does that sound right?
1,200 packs,
Yeah, 1,200
1,400
packs.
packs, something like that. A crazy
Yeah,
amount.
a crazy
Uh,
amount of packs. Yeah.
if it was flipped, that Charizard would be well over 1,000 raw.
Oh yeah,
Like,
wait for sure.
like because the artwork of it, the iconicness of it, of Charizard, uh, like I think it rivals the Umbreon from Prismatic. in
Yeah.
terms of like one of the top chases of the entire Scarlet and Violet era. I think this Charizard, depending on how, hard it is to pull, like could be a top chase. And if it
Mhm.
was as rare as the gold, oh geez, it'd be nuts.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So another piece of news that we found out this past week, Logan,
Hmm.
is Walmart is imposing limits both in
Yeah.
store and online.
Yep.
And this is interesting because it kind of took them a while to do this.
Yeah, it did.
Target's already done it.
Yes.
Like Target started doing it months ago. So what do you think about this? Do you think this is a good thing, bad thing? And particular for both in store and online, do you think it's a good thing or a
Oh
bad thing?
yeah, I think it's a good thing. I think Walmart's limit of 12 was really
Generous.
generous. Yeah, it was a tough pill
Yeah.
to swallow, because for those that don't know, Walmart usually has a drop every Wednesday-ish. And like you have a lot of people online that are just like trying to get product that they have not been able to in stores, trying to get it for MSRP. But then you're also combating bots. And when a bot is able to check out 12 items, it really just the stock goes very quick. So I think it's a good thing. Yeah, I think having it harder and more accessible for the average Pokemon card collectors is a positive thing. We'll see if like I know that there are some stores out there that still don't have as much of a limit. So we'll see if those follow suit.
Yeah, I think it's especially good for in store, especially because
In store's crazy.
you
Like,
know before there wasn't any limits. There
yeah.
wasn't a limit at all. So you know,
Well, it
someone
seems like the whole reason they did this was because of that viral TikTok that happened where
right.
this person um like the store manager was like being filmed and saying like, hey, I can't do anything, but this person is about to buy 500 mini tins of
Yeah.
Mega Evolution, and they just couldn't stop it. And like
Yeah.
and
Couldn't do
Walmart
it.
got a lot of flack for that. So I think that was a big catalyst for imposing the limits.
Yeah, for sure. And it's part of the reason why it's so hard to find anything in store. I mean,
Yeah, Walmart
all it takes is
especially.
one person. All it takes is one person that's like, you know what, I'm just gonna buy it all up. Um, and because there's no limits. At least with Target, you know, like it, at least they're trying. It's still hard to
Yeah.
find stock in store, but I think if you compare Walmart and Target, Walmart can keep more on hand than Target. So I don't know. We'll see if that makes an effect on seeing some more in-store stock. I think that'd be good for the hobby for sure.
Yeah, I think so too. It'll be interesting to see how it's perceived in the long run.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah, cool. And then last piece of news. So there are some new megas revealed,
Yeah.
in the DLC. So what do you think of those? I think there were two of them, right?
Yeah, so Pokemon Legends ZA came out earlier this month, or I guess last month now. And there's a DLC that's already been revealed called Mega Dimension. Um, and it will include new megas. And we already got our first look at two of them, Mega Chimecho, as well as Mega Baxcalibur.
Yeah.
Um, I think Mega Chimecho looks good. I'm not a huge fan of Chimecho. Not to say that I'm not, not to say that I don't like it, but I'm indifferent about it. I've been for forever.
Yeah.
But this Mega looks interesting. So that looks cool. The Baxcalibur uh, kind of gives me like Mega for Alligator vibes, where the
Hmm.
Pokemon itself doesn't look too different. There's just a big thing on its back that they
Yeah.
added. um, but who knows? I know that there's a lot more megas to be revealed. I think it comes out in February. Oh no, December 10th actually. So that's about a month away. So I think we'll see a lot more megas being revealed over the coming week. So that'll be fun.
Yeah. No, it's also going to be interesting to see, which of these megas are going to headline upcoming sets. Because you got to
Yeah.
think like, Pokemon wants to market these, so
Yeah.
it's going to be interesting to see which sets headline. Because like with Charizard, Gengar, and you know,
We
I
got
guess
Mega
not Dragonite.
Lucario, Gardevoir,
Yeah, Lucario,
Venusaur,
Gardevoir, those
all of
those have
those
already been, you know,
used up.
they've already been used, right? I mean, we saw those years ago. So it's kind of interesting if to see when Pokemon will have these headlined for
So
for TCG.
that's another thing that I wanted to call out that I forgot about. Like we have the pack art of Mega Dream EX already, the box art,
Yeah,
and there's some hints at what we could see, right? So like
right.
on the art, it's Mega Dragonite front and center, makes sense. There's
Yeah.
Mega Hawlucha. Could we be
Mm,
seeing a Mega Hawlucha SIR? Maybe. There's also Mega Lucario. That I think ties into the new Mega Attack rarity that we'll see. But
yeah.
there's also Mewtwo, Ho-Oh, and a terrestrialized Pikachu. Those
Interesting.
all seem very interesting Pokemon to have specifically picked to be included on this set pack art. So I don't know. We'll see. Um,
Now will the Mega Attack Rare Symphonia or Gardevoir and Lucario, will those be in Dream
yes,
or
yeah, they
not
will.
confirmed?
Yeah, it is being. Yeah,
They
it
will
will.
be. Okay.
They will be. One thing about Mega Dream is that one of the secret rares that was revealed was Marnie's Grimmsnarl. That Pokemon, that card is numbered 243 out of 193. What that means is that there are at least 50 secret rares in this set. Um,
Holy, that's
and
gonna
that
be
includes
nuts.
Mega Attack rares. So,
Mhm.
I imagine there will be some SARs, some Mega Attack rares. We already saw some art rares being revealed with Dracloak and Dreepy. Yeah, the Dragapult first evolution. Um, so its art rares are there, and I imagine some full arts as well. So yeah, I think it's a pretty diverse group.
Yeah, for sure. Now the Mega Attack Charizard, at least for English, is a promo card
Yeah,
in the UPC. So it's gonna be interesting if the English set also puts those Mega Attack, the Gardevoir and Lucario. It's gonna be interesting if the English set also has those as promo cards and not as a pull in the set.
yeah,
Wh- it- Why do you
yeah.
think? Like, don't you think it would have made more sense to have the Mega Attack Charizard as a pullable card? Like,
I
having
mean,
Oricorio and the Mega Attack Rare Charizard as promo cards feels like overkill.
I mean, I feel yeah. I'm scratching my head thinking the same thing about the Oricorio, the
Yeah,
Charizard. Like both of those are cards that would have done numbers
yeah.
in being in a set. Um, and uh, you know, I'm bummed that they're not in the sets because they would have made, Oricorio would have made Phantasmal much deeper, much more exciting to open, I think. Um, Not to say that it's not, but, like that would have been a good secondary chase.
Hmm.
Um, the Charizard, Mega Attack Rare, similarly, we'll see. Like, I imagine the Japanese one will be included in Mega Dream EX to be pulled. But as we head
Right.
into the English one in January, obviously that Charizard will have been in the UPC instead, so it will be excluded from the English set as well. I don't know.
Mhm.
What I only hope is that Pokemon understands this and are like, just wait. We have some stuff in the works.
Hmm.
It'll be all right.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can trust that because Phantasmal Flames didn't have Mega Gengar, which would have been the whole, you know,
I felt
argument for
like it would have
that. But
made
I don't
more
know.
sense. I felt like it would have made more sense to have Gengar and Phantasmal Flames than to,
Yeah,
I don't know. Because
yeah,
at least, especially if you're
100%.
gonna put Oricorio in the UPC as a
Well, what's
promo.
crazy is that Mega Gengar EX is in the set. It just doesn't have
Yeah,
an SAR.
yeah. He's the promo on the battle deck, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's, I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. Now, and also when one set has the card as a promo and the other set has, the Japanese or English equivalent has it as a pullable card. Usually, the card that you can pull in the set is worth more than the promo, at least in the beginning,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So, so the Japanese Mega Attack Rare Charizard is going to be worth a lot more, most likely,
Yeah.
than the English promo version.
Same with the Oricorio.
And the Oricorio, yeah.
I think last time I checked, it's been a couple weeks. The Oricorio was like sitting around 120, um,
Hmm.
which is the price of more than the retail price of the UPC.
Yeah.
Now, you know, MSRP is out the door for it, but um, it'll be interesting to see what that looks like as we get more product of the UPC and as more people start to open it. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. No, we'll see. We got an interesting couple months, man.
I know. Yeah, it's been a wild last week. But we keep on pushing on.
Keep on pushing on. Yeah. So I think that was the news. So getting into a couple business updates. Um, so for me, I'm gearing up for the Phantasmal Flames drop, and for viewers watching, it's going to be a gigantic drop. I mean, it is going to
I'm
be
excited to hear about
big.
it.
It's going to be big. Yeah, I'm getting a lot. So it's gonna be over MSRP, but it's gonna be way under market. So like I was just checking out another a bigger card store. I won't say the name, but just as an example, they have Phantasmal ETBs listed for like $108, something like that. They'll be a lot less than that.
Yeah,
I'll say that just as one example, they're gonna be a lot less than that.
super
Um,
excited. I think
can't
it's gonna
wait.
be nuts.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, like I said earlier, I think Phantasmal Flame
Mhm.
release is gonna be nuts. I think that's gonna be
Mhm.
crazy. So I'm
Yeah.
stoked for you.
Yeah. I can't wait, dude. And it's depending on when everything gets here, it'll be 1 to 2 weeks from now.
Yeah,
So and I'll
cool.
definitely uh uh you know talk
Probably
about how
talk
it
about it
goes
next
on the
weekend,
podcast.
and
Yeah.
then the week after that we'll discuss sort of how it went.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, what about you?
So for me, uh, Simplified Chinese Gym Pack Volume 3 Wave 3 came in. So this is the third order that we've had. Excuse me. It arrived this week. We're running ads on it. This is the first product that we've run ads on, and since I've started daily uploading, um, they're performing well. We've already sold like 16 boxes in just 3 days, 4 days. So that feels
Awesome.
awesome. I kind of talked about it in the last podcast. I think what is helping is that the ad that I'm running is a highly engaged reel that performed very well. So that helps it. I'm not just throwing money at some, poor performing reel and having it, make me money that way. Um,
Right.
so that feels good. I'm updating the reward system on our site. So uh, I took a look. I took a deeper look at some of the financial aspects of the shop reward system. Uh, just making a pivot. Need to change it. So we're
Mhm.
updating the redeemable amount. So the redemption amount. Um, and it's negative effect, like it negatively affects customers. However, I'll get into it in a little bit. There's some things that as a business owner, you can do to kind of put a twist on it, so that the fallout isn't as great. So I'm interested in talking a little bit more about that later. Uh, Other than that, I've already started committing pre-orders for Mega Dream EX. The Japanese said their release is November 28th.
Mhm.
I'm already releasing reels related to it. People are already signing up for the newsletter to be alerted when pre-orders go live. This will be the first Japanese pre-order event that we have where we're actually going to be able to ship on release day, which is super fun. Like because it releases on a Friday, and usually most English shops, most Western shops, um, start shipping out on the following Monday. So we're gonna try out shipping on Friday so that we can get people their orders as soon as possible. Um, so I'm excited about that. You know, just a little bit, peeking behind the curtain. The idea is that hopefully, you can secure pre-orders with, maybe different suppliers, or a single supplier over the course of the next couple of weeks and sort of dollar cost average the cost per box so that, maybe you buy high at some day, but then you buy real low on another day. And so they ended up, averaging out. So that's the strategy, and we'll see how it goes, but I'm excited.
Yeah, no, for sure. I'm stoked for you, man. I think it'd be cool for people to be able to get it shipped, that much earlier than I'd say 90% of stores.
Yeah, and like we had talked about it a little bit with Inferno X. I hadn't done it.
Yeah,
But I think there's also an aspect of the live selling uh, world where people open up whatnot, they open up, TikTok shop and they see people ripping this new set that they've never seen before on that
right,
Friday. Um, like that is the peak time that people are most interested in what's going on because they're not aware of this set, most people.
right.
So if you can take advantage of that as well, um, like that's an opportunity. So we'll see.
Yeah. Now, Logan, something interesting that I just kind of came to mind.
Yeah.
What's your strategy going forward when it comes to live streams, ripping chips and things like that? What does your strategy look like for that? Because I actually tuned in to one of your ripping chips. I think it was like a week ago or so.
hmm
That was cool.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, what do you think? Do you think you'll continue doing that?
I want to.
Yeah,
Um,
the
I
time is just I know
it's time and effort, right?
yeah,
I think live selling is a huge opportunity.
yeah,
Especially with what we preach about how making content, building a brand, building that trust, getting people to know you, um,
yeah,
putting your personality into a situation where you can engage with people in real time, share thoughts, have your personality really front and center, um,
hmm
while also, ripping packs in front of people is such an opportunity. Um,
yeah,
it's hard because it's just like every other algorithm where, you can't just go in and have a following on Instagram and be successful over on YouTube. It doesn't
right,
work like that. You have to build that up. And that requires time and energy. And to answer your question, I really want to.
hmm
However, I think realistically, to grow that, you're really wanting to stream probably 3 to 4 times a week. Each stream probably at least 1 hour, 1 to 3 hours, ideally, every stream.
yeah,
Um, it's it's hard, and I don't currently have the time for it, at least to do it consistently. There are days where kind of what I've been doing where, I have a free night and, I didn't plan it. I just sort of like, oh, tonight I can do it. And so I'll, put up an Instagram post and some people will see it, most won't. Um,
hmm
so I'm lacking in terms of the being able to successfully market it as well. It's tough.
yeah,
And I'm not on Whatnot. Maybe I decide to go back to Whatnot, but right now I'm trying to build up the YouTube following and get people onto my Shopify site to buy from there rather than having to go on Whatnot and I have to handle, inventory as well as, the fees. Um, I think
Yeah,
it's a huge
you and I
opportunity.
have talked a lot about Whatnot before,
Yeah,
and it's um, it requires a lot of time investment, and also a lot of times it's not the best price for the customer because we have to adjust for shipping and for the fees that Whatnot takes in the sale. So I
and
get it.
but what's crazy is like if you can find a balance and be consistent and get a
Yeah,
following, like man, what you can get out of a live selling, aspect of your business is nuts.
yeah,
Like I know that there are live sellers who get way more distribution product than online stores,
oh yeah,
um, which is bonkers to me. But it's like they do, and like it's something that I've been really wanting. I just don't have the time, but we'll
yeah,
see.
yeah. So yeah, I mean, we as store owners and content creators, we have to be really sort of strategic where we put our time to make it
Yeah.
the most effective, you know? And if you do a 1 to 3 hour stream and then like there's only so much you can control for how many people comes in and tunes in
I know.
on your
You could have a
stream. You
dud
can
of a
market
day.
it. Yeah, you
Yeah.
can market it. You could do, everything you can do. You can post it on Instagram, but if people don't tune in and you stream for 2 or 3 hours, I mean that's a lot of time that essentially has been wasted. You
Well, yeah,
know,
you could be doing something
because
else.
typically people don't tune in. Yeah, typically people don't tune in to a stream that already happened. Like you're really
Yeah.
um, your bread and butter should be in the live stream, not
Yep.
for a stream that you recorded and people watch later. That's not people don't usually tune into that.
Yeah. So, yeah, there's a lot of strategy behind it, but I just don't have the time right now. So
Yeah,
I'd like to get there. And not to say that it would take over everything, but have
sure.
that be a channel of selling, I think it's an opportunity for most businesses. It's just a matter of like where do you divvy up your time and where do you value it the most. And right now, I don't have that priority on it.
Yeah, for sure. So you talked earlier about, you know, um, when you do, because we never want to introduce negative experiences to our
Hmm.
customers
Yeah.
ever. We want
Right.
every experience to be positive every
Yeah.
single time. But when you do have to have a negative experience with a customer, what's your strategy behind that, Logan? Like um, what's the best way to introduce that?
I mean, I think simply give your customers a heads up that this is going to happen. Don't spring it up on
Mhm.
them and all of a sudden they're sitting there, holding, the bag. Um, I
Right.
think that's one thing. Another thing is that if you can, let them take advantage of, you know, uh, the opportunity that they have and have had before the negative impact comes. I'll give you an example. With my reward system, I am reducing the amount of, or I'm increasing the amount of points that a customer requires in order to take $1 off.
Mm.
I'm increasing it by quite a bit. However, I send out an email to all of my newsletter subscribers, and those are typically the people that have rewards points. And, it's not going to be people that are having been there one time or whatever. It's people that are tuned into the shop or maybe repeat buyers. I send out an email saying, "Hey, this is happening. This is changing. This will negatively impact your rewards points that you have incurred, and it's happening next week." Uh, I gave them a heads up. I let them know the date that it's changing. I let them know what's changing. And then I also encourage them to use those points before then, right?
Mhm.
because I want them to, not feel like they've lost an opportunity come that day that I switch it. I'm encouraging them to do that. And I even sort of angled the perspective of like, your rewards points are worth more this weekend than they ever will be moving forward.
Right.
So, and I actually had people take advantage of it and use it, right? Um,
Right.
there are some sales that happened that hurt.
Yeah.
However, I'm willing to accept that for this weekend, so that moving forward, the reward system is not so against me. Um, and
Right.
so it's a big balancing situation on making sure that your customers are happy while also making sure that your business is set up for the long run, even if that means
Right.
a couple of short term, uh, jabs to your finances. Um,
Right.
and then you can say the same thing about free shipping, right? You have a business that starts off with free shipping because they want to engage customers, they want to build that loyalty, they want to see like, oh, this new store that I've never heard of offers free shipping. Let's give it a
Right.
go. 6 months later, you've established yourself, but now you realize that free shipping is really freaking hard. So
Right.
you scale back that and you say, oh, actually, it's $5 of free shipping or flat rate shipping or whatever it is. You suddenly springing that on your customers leaves a bad taste in their mouth of like, oh,
Right.
like I'm getting taken advantage of because they just wanted me for my they just wanted to lure me for free shipping with free
Right.
shipping. And so now I'm not even going to buy from them anymore. Um,
Hmm.
versus if you take a human approach and, you know, give them a heads up, let them know what's happening, tell them, asking them to take advantage, or maybe you provide another incentive of like, hey, free shipping's going away this week. Use code this for, $20 of free shipping moving forward so that
Hmm.
it is less of a scary thing for them moving forward, and they understand, I'm supporting this small business for a reason. I want them to continue to be able to serve, customers like me. I'll accept it, especially as they gave, this other incentive, to help me feel like I can still, benefit from them.
Yeah. And I think, look, as when you start a new store, right? I mean, it's essential to build trust with your customers.
Yeah.
And I think having certain incentives and strategies behind building that trust is really important for the beginning. For as far as it could be free shipping, it could be a percentage off of your first order. It could be a combination of the two things. It could be more loyalty points for the newer customers that sort of take the leap of faith. But I do think you know as you mature as a store, you do have to make changes for sustainability in the long run. And I think 99% of customers will understand that.
Yeah.
And just as a curiosity, have you gotten any replies back from that email? Like, has anyone said
No,
anything?
no,
Yeah,
no, no negative. But there are people that are taking advantage of it.
I'm
That
sure.
I
Yeah.
I told them to.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
some orders that have, I'll get the little notification and it's like a surprisingly low amount, and then I'll look to see what it
Yeah.
was they ordered, and it's like, oh wow, you know, uh, however many tens of dollars off makes sense.
Right.
Um,
Again, guys, we make 10 to 15% on most of the stuff
yeah,
we sell. So I mean, sometimes these things can hurt, but in the beginning, it was worth it
correct. Yes.
because the
Yeah.
the the building loyalty and trust, especially when you're new, is worth money, in my
Hmm.
opinion. Now, the dollar amounts, we can debate that, but I do think it's one of the most important things. Your goal in the beginning shouldn't be to make money. Okay,
Right.
it should be to build loyalty and trust with your customers, and
Yeah.
that's why your strategy should change over time.
Yep.
As you mature as a business, once you've built up a good amount of loyalty and trust, you have tons of reviews, you have tons of followers, you have it becomes more and more obvious that you're a legitimate store.
Right.
It's important to change your strategy. And like I said, just from what you told us, Logan, you haven't really gotten anything negative. I think people will understand. I think customers will
Yeah.
understand. Yeah.
Yeah. Especially as, again, as we preach it, people are coming to your store because they trust you. They want to buy from you. It's not because you have the best prices usually. It's not because, you have a product that no one else has. The reason we're creating content is to build that trust, build that loyalty, build that brand awareness so that people come for you. They're buying from you because they want to buy from you, not because of these other things that are not true. That you can't compete with people, with price every single time. So yeah, if you've done that right, most of your customers will understand.
Yeah. And speaking of branding, Logan, one of the topics we wanted to talk about on this podcast was
Yeah.
putting strategy behind your posts, behind promoting your products. I mean, there should
Hmm.
be a strategy behind, I mean, pretty much there should be a strategy behind the majority of your posts,
Yeah,
when it comes to what stories you
I
post,
think
what
so.
reels you post, um, the call to action. We're going to talk about that. So Logan, I'll let you lead off.
Sure.
And I think for, the first sort of bullet point for this topic is I think a sense of urgency is important
Hmm.
behind at least a percentage of your posts. So do you want to talk about that a little bit and how
Sure.
important that is?
Yeah. So yeah, a sense of urgency is interesting. And Alex and I both started taking the same strategy with our monthly. Alex now couple times a month English drops, because we only do it once or twice a month, and
Right.
so having that sense of urgency of hey, this is happening this weekend only. You cannot come back, 2 weeks from now and have the same experience of this drop, because things will be sold out. I know that I sell out the most hyped products in 5 minutes. Alex, I know you do too. So
Yeah.
I think having that sense of urgency is important because it builds this idea of FOMO. It builds that, that need to be aware of what's going on. And, oh, if Alex has this sense of urgency in this singular post, like I need to be aware. I need to take note of that. It also makes, me think more about how often I should be looking in on what Alex, is saying in his videos of like, if I miss a video and there's a drop happening, I miss that drop. So
Right.
I think that's important. I have other thoughts, but I'll let you go first.
Yeah. And Logan and I talk offline a lot about our strategies and how, some of the things we do differently. So I guess one of the main strategies that I've had is whenever I do a video with a call to action, like for example, you'll see sometimes where I'll say, hey, comment this, and you'll get a link to sign up for my newsletter or whatever. I only do that behind a video that has a sense of urgency.
Hmm.
Like I have an upcoming drop coming, or pre-orders are about to go live for a new product,
Yeah.
or something like that. I don't normally do those kind of videos with nothing sort of upcoming. Like that's I'm not I don't do it just to do it basically normally. And I do that because I don't want there to be like a fatigue for my customers. Like whenever I do a video where hey, you know, comment this to get a newsletter to get a link to the newsletter so you'll know when the drop is happening. Uh, I want my customers to tune in. Like I don't want them to be like, oh, Alex is shouting the same stuff. I want them to know like, hey, this is something new and it's upcoming. Like it's going to happen. And if you don't sign up for the newsletter, you could miss out. And that's been my strategy, and it has worked for me. But Logan, I know that you also incorporate that, but I think your balance between the two, between doing more call to action stuff, but also having a sense of urgency. I am a fan of that as well. So I'll let you kind of take it from
Sure.
there.
Yeah, so we do things a little bit differently.
Hmm.
Every single video that I make, I have a call to action. And, you know, I use DM automation software, pull back the curtain. That's the secret. That's the secret sauce. So that
Yep.
I have a word that I'll, have you comment down below and I'll send you a DM with a link to something that I'm trying to promote. I have a call to action every single video. And the reason I do that is because I have almost 18,000 followers. However,
Insane.
there is every single video, just a fraction of those followers actually see my post. Um,
Same.
like usually it's like 60, 70% non-followers that see that post. So more often than not, I'm targeting completely new people that have never heard about me before. And not every single video also performs as well as others. And so if I have a call to action, at least in my how I strategize, if I have a call to action in just a handful of videos and those just end up tanking, in terms of reach and in terms of engagement, I've lost opportunity to target new people. Versus if I have a call to action in every single video, even that video that I thought wasn't going to perform well, all of a sudden it has 100,000 views. If I have that call to action, there's even if it's just a 5%, which is 5% engagement of that call to action. That's 5,000 people. um,
Yeah.
versus if I have a call to action in just a few of my videos, and it's a dud where it gets 5,000 views. Well, 5% of that is what 500.
500. Yeah.
And so it's a much smaller percentage versus if I have a call to action in every single video, there's always that chance that and like I said, a majority of the viewers are actually new viewers. So there's always a chance that there's engagement with that call to action. Um, so I think that's a big thing on from me is that even with all of my followers, they don't all engage with my posts. There's probably a good amount of them that haven't seen one of my posts in weeks.
Hmm.
And so like and so like with that, like I don't like my point is like I don't feel like I have like this big cult following.
Hmm.
Like I feel like I have my target audience is the average Pokemon card collector, and so I don't imagine that a lot of them are tuned in to all of my content every single day, even though I
They're not
post it every
watching
single
every
day.
single. They're not watching every single one of your videos. Right.
Right, and so
Yeah.
I like I think at least for my viewers, there's less of a chance of that fatigue, I'd say,
Hmm.
um, because there's um, because they're not watching every video, and it's not like I'm pausing the video at 5 seconds in and then doing a 15-second spiel of exactly my call to action. It's usually at the very end of the post so that if people make it all the way through, there's your call to action. And lately I've been playing around with, just slipping it in, towards the beginning, but very casually, very quickly. This past post I had yesterday, I did my hook for, 5-10 seconds. And by the end of the hook, I was like, comment dream if you want to know about pre-orders. That was it. Took 2 seconds, maybe even less of
Same.
the video. Not even enough to register of like, oh, I'm being marketed right now.
Right.
It's not enough for people to, oh, screw this and swipe up. Like I went from my hook to my call to action, which was very small, and then I go right into the content that people are interested in from the hook.
Right.
And it's performed well. I think this past video that I just did, I'm already at like 50 comments of people wanting to know about Mega Dream pre-orders. Um, and if I hadn't done that, and like if I had dedicated a video to a Mega Dream pre-order video, like, hey, comment this on this video specifically, um, like that video probably wouldn't perform as well as this video that I just did, where I hyped up Mega Gengar, and was just revealed, and we're going off of the current hype. People know, like, my video is not usually the first that people are going to hear about Mega Gengar. So they're already aware of it, but that's like the hot topic of the day, um, which I think helped with engagement. Um, so if I had that singular video with the only call to action about Mega Dream pre-orders, there's a good chance that it doesn't perform well. And actually, I have an example of that with my 151 Gathering video.
Mm-hmm.
I had a dedicated video to 151 Gathering, all about call to action, all about it's on my site now, um, and it flopped. And and that's a video that I don't have an opportunity to get people to my site to know about it. And the price is high, yes, but I didn't have a video like I do have for Gem Pack Volume 3 sales, that
Mm-hmm.
just popped off.
Yeah.
So I think that's sort of my take on call to action, and with my followers in particular.
Mm-hmm.
Like, however, I know that Alex does have like a loyal following with his English fans, where like they are they are on top of his English drops every single time. They know, like, I see people comment like, Alex's store is the best. I'm going to continue to buy from them. Like, I don't have that. Like, so it is interesting, and the different tactics are worth thinking about with your particular situation.
Mm-hmm. Now, so something I want to emphasize though, what you just said, especially for new store owners and new content creators watching, Logan Logan's strategy sort of evolved over time
Hmm.
with his call to action.
Yeah.
And when you don't make the call to action like a gigantic chunk of the video, you make it uh, short but recognizable. It's not something you have to like pause in the video. Um, it's really quick, and then it just flows really well with the rest of the video. I do think there's way less chance of viewers getting fatigued from that. I mean,
Hmm.
it's literally one short sentence is all it is, and then the rest of the video continues on. I think that's a really good strategy, because you know for me, I kind of go on a spiel. I kind of go on like a 10 to
I have
15
two.
second spiel.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of go on a, like, and I'll talk about it a lot. Like, I'll do like, what you do to get the newsletter, and then I'll talk about, hey, you know, for those that are on the website at the drop time, you were able to check out. Please make sure you sign up for this. I make it a big spiel, but I don't do it that often. I only do it for
Hmm.
big drops and
Yeah.
um, big pre-orders, things like that. But making it a really short snippet of more videos, and then maybe you do the spiel for like for a big drop. Maybe
Yeah.
it's for like Logan, for your next English drop,
Yeah. I will have a
maybe you'll do
Phantasmal
that.
English drop where I will do that.
Yeah, yeah. So I do think that's interesting, and I do think that that balance is something that maybe I'll incorporate more with my business. So I like that's good stuff.
Yeah, and kind of like what Alex said, you adjust as you need. If you find that like, experimenting is so important, because if you are afraid to experiment in this one area, and it ends up being that's your most popular way of doing things, if you don't try it and you don't risk it, you miss out on all that opportunity. So experimenting and figuring out what works for you and what works for your customers is key.
Yeah. And speaking of trial and error, so if you want to, go back to mine or Logan's earliest videos. I don't delete anything from my grid. So you can go back as far as you
Same.
want. Look at some of my earliest videos and then look at some of them now. Like the they're way better. They're a lot better
Oh
now.
yeah.
And same thing with Logan. And it's because we were willing to tweak things here and there over a long period of time by being consistent and trying new things and figuring out what works and what doesn't for us. And that's the only way to do it. Now I do think, there's an element of mitigating risk, not maybe not when it comes to posting, but as a business overall. But when it comes to posting and content creation, especially trial and error, I think is key.
Yeah, I agree. And one thing that I wanted to kind of dive into with in terms of, promoting your products is Instagram stories, right? Like there is there is an opportunity for anybody to post a link to have view on a story and have viewers of your story click on that link to navigate to wherever the heck you want. It could be your website, it could be YouTube, it could be something completely weird and wild. But you
Right.
have that opportunity when you post stories. And I, for example, will post stories where I have a screenshot of a product that I'm selling on my page, on my website, with a link to that specific product. And maybe there's a couple of stories in a row of different products that I have. And I do that probably a couple times a week. Alex takes a different approach and doesn't do it as often. So I
Right.
think that's an interesting conversation for us to have about why we do certain things the way that we do, why we don't maybe necessarily do that, what it is that we promote, right? Like, Alex, promotes his English drops way more than his Japanese, versus all of my call to actions are typically about, most of them are about Japanese versus English drops. Um, do you want to talk a little bit more about that, Alex?
Yeah, I think so. Like, there's a big content creator. We
Mhm.
won't say his name, but he'll have like 20 stories of just all they are. You click through them, they're a product and a link to their product.
Yeah.
I I don't like that strategy because one, there's that fatigue involved where like okay, every
Yeah.
time this person posts a story, it's just a link to their product. Again for me, and this is the strategy that I've had that's worked for me. However, I'm still going to evolve, obviously, but I want there to be a sense of urgency behind when I do that. Like for
Yeah.
example, I'll probably do one with my Paradox Rift building battle boxes. Paradox Rift is going out of print very quickly. We're approaching the 2 year benchmark where it becomes much harder to find
Right.
um, in the wild. I'm running out of them, and once they're gone, they're going to be gone.
Right.
So that's something that I'll post a story about. Like,
Yeah.
hey, go buy these guys because once I'm out of them, I'm out of them.
Yeah.
They're going to be gone. Versus other stores, maybe they post links to their products that uh, well, there isn't that element. Like there is
Right.
no really sense of urgency. They're going to be there for a while. Um, and then also, whenever I do post a story, I want it to be um, like I want my viewers to tune in because they don't know what it's going to be. They'll never know.
Yeah.
It could be a poll, it could be a story about my last video, it could be a link to a hot product that's going out,
Yep.
that's selling out, whatever. So that's kind of what I think. But what about you? Like, what do you think of this?
Yeah. So I try and do a sort of an in between of what you
Yeah.
do and what this other person does, where they have all of their stories, 20 of them every single day are the same products that they just posted the day before with a link. I get why they do that. Exposure. Not every single person views your story every single day. So if you posted all of these stories yesterday, but someone didn't see it, you post again today and they see it, there's an opportunity to convert. You can actually gain a customer by that. However, I get what you're saying. There's a lot more people that will watch your story every day. Those that are consistently watching to grow tired of that.
Hmm.
And so I sort of take a middle ground approach where my stories, I tend to offer some of my personality to them. I'll
Hmm.
post, little peeks of what's going on in the business, what my personal thoughts are. Maybe I'll post a poll. So like there is somewhat entertainment value to be gained anytime you see my stories. However, like I said, probably a couple times a week, I do have posts where I will pick and choose different products that I haven't already marketed in a previous story, saying, hey, by the way, these white flare ETBs, they're on my site for this price, below market. Here's the link to it. And with the amount of people that watch my story, like there's a good chance that, I could get 20 to 50 people clicking on that link.
Yeah.
And that is an opportunity to make a sale. And, sometimes they don't work as well. Sometimes they do. And so, having that, taking advantage of that, at least somewhat consistently works for me because, not everyone, even though they're subscribed, not everyone sees my newsletters. Even though
Right.
they're following me on Instagram, doesn't mean they always see my post. Having a story that performs well, where there's a lot of engagement, people are clicking and holding to read what's there, or there's a poll where people are actually engaging, Instagram will push that to the front. And that's an opportunity for so many of every single person that follows you to have that story bump up to the front and they just automatically click on it.
Right.
And so having that there, as something every couple of days is just another opportunity to make a sale without overloading them and without, posting the exact same, links every single day. Because that also comes off as desperate. Like,
Right.
and I don't have enough I don't have enough inventory. I don't have enough sales to not care about that.
Yeah.
So like if you're a big store and you have, 100 boxes of each set and that's just what you do is every single day you're just posting that just to, knock a couple boxes off every single set, makes sense. But you know, I if like if I have a call to action that pops off, I could sell out of a box almost instantly just because of how, little inventory I carry of everything compared to others. And that's important in terms of like if I'm just posting Inferno X boxes every single day, like it gets tiresome. So there I have a strategy
Yeah.
to it. It's sort of a middle ground in between. I'll
Yeah.
pause there.
Yeah. No, that's good. Like I do. I mean, I see the value in that, right? And having a sort of balance between the two, just to have like little reminders to your followers, almost like, hey, don't forget, these are on my website right now.
Well,
Because
it,
people don't go on our websites every day to look at
no,
what we have.
no, they don't.
So I do think those little reminders here and there, I definitely see the value in that.
Well, and like, you know, I don't market English as much as I do Japanese and simplified
Mhm.
Chinese on my site. So I imagine psychologically, if someone sees English product on my site, they're like, "Oh, I didn't know Zippy's Card Corner has English. Let me click and see what they have."
Right.
Um, and similar with you, it's like, you market your English a lot more than your Japanese side because you do supply Japanese. And so I'd imagine that if you had a couple of Japanese posts here and there, people would be like, "Oh, I didn't know Alex sold Japanese. I didn't know PokeLegends TCG had Japanese on their site." Um, so
Yeah.
yeah, it's a slight change of people's expectation is very powerful.
Yeah. No, for sure. I love it, man. I love talking back and forth about this stuff. And Logan and I talk back and forth on this stuff all the time
That's why we started this
offline.
podcast.
Yeah. But with that, guys, we're coming to time. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Poke Table podcast. We love doing these episodes, but please make sure you like and subscribe. We would be eternally grateful. Please make sure you share this. But with that, catch you guys later.
See ya. Bye.